Good morning. It is 10 o'clock, and so we are going to begin our program. So welcome to the best city in the United States of America and to Main Street Station. We are delighted that you are here. I am Michelle Brown Peters. I am the Deputy Director for the Department of Housing and Community Development. And so just some housekeeping items. The ladies' room can be found on my left. The men's room can be found beyond the elevator to the right. We're going to have presentations by 3 development teams. And at the end of those presentations, we will have a Q&A for 5 minutes. We're asking you to jot your questions down, as we will only be entertaining questions that are directly related to the information presented here today. If you have additional questions on your agenda, there is an email address, and we would invite you to send an email to that address, and we will respond accordingly. We want to take this opportunity to thank the President of Council, Dr. Newbill, for her presence here today. Our DCAO, Sharon Ebert, for her presence here today. And not that President Newbill and Sharon Ebert are not beloved, but we also want to thank our beloved Director of Housing and Community Development for his presence here today, Mr. Merrick Malone. And so when the mayor started his term, he created what he called the Mayor's Action Plan. And in that action plan, there were 7 pillars. And those 7 pillars are to guide the work that all departments will be doing in his first term. So housing and community development, we touch pretty much 6 of the 7 pillars. But the one that we work on daily, the one that we try to make $1 out of 15 cents every minute of the Monday through Friday 8-hour workday, is pillar number 2. And that pillar is where we provide thriving neighborhoods and housing options for all of our residents here in the city of Richmond. And so today you are here to hear presentations from 3 finalists who responded to the proposal that was published to do just that, to provide affordable housing so that residents here in the city of Richmond and those that will come to the city of Richmond would have options and have affordable housing options. So we want you to make sure you understand why you're here today, and we want to make sure that you hear what it is that's being presented for the property at 212 North 18th Street. So we're in that part of the process where the public is engaged and involved in what the 3 finalists are offering to develop at 212 North 18th Street to help us to continue to meet the goals of pillar number 2, and that is to provide affordable housing for all of our residents and to make sure that all of our communities are thriving. And so with that being said, we will get started with the first presentation, and that would be the Richmond group. I'm going to invite them to the podium. Please put your hands together for the Richmond group. And while they're coming, I'm sorry, I forgot to let everybody know, put your cell phones on silent, please. And if you're wearing a watch, don't forget it has volume as well. Silence your watches as well.
Good morning. I'm Andre Blakely, President of TRG Community Development, a division of the Richmond Group of Companies. I'm also joined by my JV development partners, Glenn Hudson of Hudson Real Estate Advisor, and Grace Washington with J&G Workforce. You'll hear a little bit more about their background and role with this project in just a moment. I'm also joined by Sir James Thorohill, our strategic partner, and Breeden Construction, Travis Pozowski. Sorry if I chopped that up a little bit, but our strategic partners partners that we work with across the Commonwealth on all of the real estate transactions that we do. Before we start, we'd like to thank HCD Planning, City Council members, especially President Newbill, for this exciting opportunity to present our holistic development approach for the proposed 212 North 18th Street development. One thing that will be clear in our presentation is that what we're proposing goes beyond sticks and bricks. It provides working families, young professionals, and those that service the businesses in downtown Richmond and the Shockey Bottom area. We'll start with some background information, and in the interest of time, I'll be going through those similar sort of case studies is what I call them, that we've developed just for context purposes. I think it's very important that we emphasize that what we're proposing is not a test case. It's something that we've done in Virginia. We've executed it in partnership with local municipalities, working with the various cities to bring these concepts, or what started as a concept, to life. So a little, please have a seat, Ms. Dorio and Grace and Glenn, thank you. They'll be back up in just a second. So a little background on TRG. So a few points of emphasis. We're the 7th largest apartment owner in the country. The product type that we build ranges from high-end market rate development, mixed income, mixed use, to workforce attainable housing, which we've seen become a growing need from a supply perspective across the country. We've been in business for almost 40 years providing real estate investment services, where we're one of the largest investors in multi-family development. And on the development side, we're vertically integrated. We have in-house construction, architecture, property, and asset management. We don't self-perform any of those functions. We always look to hire locally, work with local contractors, bring on local partners. Those disciplines simply exist for quality control purposes and for cost containment purposes. We're well capitalized, providing the ability to fund pre-development for all of our projects, which is often the catalyst for getting a project from conception to completion. And it's also the riskiest capital because it goes in first. Lastly, a little factoid about our presence in Virginia, which I think is also important. We're now fully integrated and established locally here in the Richmond, Virginia area. You'll be hearing from our partners who are Richmond born and bred. I recently relocated from Chicago about 12 days ago to just outside of Richmond and loving it. My family's loving it, and we love this city. We're also working with the city of Richmond on the redevelopment of a very prominent public housing site called Mosby South, which proposes to deliver over 450 plus units of mixed income and affordable housing. And we'll talk, just give you a preview of that here later in the presentation. With that, I'll turn it over to Grace Washington and Glenn Hudson, our JV partners on this endeavor, for just quick introductions.
Thank you, Andre. I don't know how quick it's going to be, but thank you. Again, my name is Glenn Hudson, and I have been working with Andre and TRG over the past 10 years, of which 6 of those years have been working on Virginia and Richmond projects. However, I have been working in the city of Richmond for over 35 years. The majority of our development team partners have been working in Richmond between 6 and 35 years. So yes, we are the local team. I started my work in Richmond and Virginia working with DHCD, helping to manage their low-income housing tax credit program and multifamily loan programs, reviewing and providing tax credits and funding on deals like Tobacco Row and Market Square. I then spent 15 years with the Richmond LISC office, structuring and funding deals developed by nonprofit organizations in the city. Developments like Cary Street Phase 1, Jefferson Mews, HP Rapp single family developments in which Councilwoman Robertson at the time was the executive director there. I also served on the Virginia Housing, Multifamily, and Tax Credit Advisory Board for 7 years as well. I also served as a consultant for the City of Richmond, which Councilwoman Robertson had just initiated the Affordable Housing Trust Fund and asked me to manage that fund, which I did, while also reviewing city projects while helping to protect their assets. While also there at the city, this beautiful train station that we're all sitting in. Initially, I was tasked to find a community development entity to provide an allocation of New Market tax credits. I did work with the Treasury Department with their New Market tax credit program. We brought a community development entity to help finance the train station. However, the city was able to apply and receive a $25 million TOD, Transit-Oriented Development Grant from the Department of Transportation to support this project. I say all of this only to say that we are local, but we have a lot of local and national strong relations along with our community partners like MCV, VCU, Virginia Union University, and others. At my time at LIST, we had Jim Ukrop on our board as chairman, and I would ask Jim, what made this supermarket so successful? And he would always say, it's the community and the workers. And some of you know that Ukrop Supermarket would always have on their shopping bags their mission statement, which was about their customers. And that's what our team is always focused on. We have done numerous projects like this, but we believe in the most important value that we recognize in every project we are involved in is behind the walls, and that's with the people. We had so far a total of 19 plus meetings with residents and community stakeholders in our Mosby South development, making sure that the people of all various incomes are able to live in this wonderful development. That's why we have focused the planning of this development mirroring what's in the Richmond 300 plan, focusing on housing expansion, encouraging diverse housing options, allowing for residents that will be at various AMI incomes, 30% AMI, 50% AMI, 60% AMI, 80% AMI, and even going to 120% AMI. Our plan focuses on sustainability, promoting walkability and green infrastructure, all part of the Richmond 300 plan. We also have been participating and very focused on the Richmond zoning refresh, and would like to commend the city and Kevin Volk for really helping to allow for deep resident participation throughout the city. Lastly, because my 2 minutes is up, but we clearly are aware that the Shockoe Bottom is a great place for fun and to live in. However, we must together provide solutions for the senseless killings in the area. The other day, there was another senseless shooting. We know this because our team is local. We believe that we must not just work in making our project safe, but working to help make the entire Shockoe Bottom and the city safe by partnering with the City of Richmond, MCV, the Shockoe Bottom Business and Neighborhood Association, state and local government, and other property owners in the community to create safe zones. Again, our team are the local development group based in the area that has the ability to secure financial resources and experience working with Richmond communities, with residents, community stakeholders, local and state partners. It would be interesting to hear that there is another group that has the local relationship and development in the Richmond community, because Richmond is not working in Northern Virginia, and it's not working in DC. Thank you, Andre.
Thank you, Mr. Hudson. Grace Washington, please.
So first of all, who's responsible for that picture? So I'd like to thank everyone. I certainly would like to thank my partners for allowing me to be a part of this team. I am Grace Washington. I am President and CEO of J&G Workforce Development. The very essence of the reason that I developed J&G is to provide economic opportunities to those who have been denied. And so the purpose of my involvement in many of the development projects that I work on is to ensure that out of the millions of dollars that it takes to construct these projects, that our residents and our local small businesses get to benefit from that. And so it is a driving force. For those of you who are in the audience who have seen me at the podium at City Council many, many, many times advocating for the developments, because I am advocating for our local residents to have an opportunity to have and receive training and skill sets that can help to improve their families' lives. I have, and for our small businesses. I sit on the board of OMBD's advisory board, giving my expertise to help all businesses that they work with. I sit on the Virginia Housing Minority Advisory Board, again, to see how we can figure out to assist more small businesses in being at the table. And I sit on the board of Home. I devote my time to where the need is, because after they do get in the home, we want to make sure that they're being fairly treated. The one thing that I really love about the Richmond Group is that they not only talk the talk, they walk the walk. I've been involved with the Richmond Group for 6 years. I've been involved in all of their projects that they have worked on in Virginia and some out of Virginia, like the Virgin Islands. But Andre really, the Richmond Group really believes in the same thing that I do, that the sticks and bricks, which they're great at, the financing that, Glenn is a master of, but what about the people? What about the people? We're about the people. We want to make sure when we come into a community that we're lifting up the whole community before a person ever steps one foot in the beautiful building that we're going to build. And so the one thing that I love about the Richmond Group, in Andre keeping to his commitment, he made Glenn and I JV partners. And so as a small business, that is very important to me, because that kind of thing helps me to do what I'm very passionate about, which is to provide economic opportunity to those who have been denied. So thank you, Andre, and thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Mrs. Washington and Mr. Hudson. Two prominent individuals here representing the Richmond area and a spokesperson for this community. So I in turn really appreciate your partnership and in everything that we do. So thank you. So now to some of our strategic partners, and we'll hear from Breeden for just a moment, because we do want to get into more of the presentation, but this part of it is important as well. Hearing about who we are, what we do, what we believe in, I feel that's very important to understand when you're getting into a partnership with a development partner. And so our development partners, strategic partner, development team members rather, they're also local, and they're also partners that we work with consistently throughout the Commonwealth. Timmons Group being one of those, J&G Workforce, you just heard from Grace Washington, and some of the other things. She wears many hats that she provides and helps with community engagement and workforce development and so on and so on. Breeden Construction, someone that's done a lot of business here in the Richmond area, and I'll have Travis come up and just share just a minute, if you could, Travis, about your experience and the depth of experience here in the Richmond area.
Thank you, Andre. Good morning, everybody. I'm Travis Prosnick. Can you hear me? With Breeden Construction. We're based here in Richmond. Our office is here. Brian Revere is our president. I'm our vice president of operations. We've been here for 60 years. Our original founder Started the company over 60 years ago. Ray Breeden, he was born and raised here in Richmond, went to Thomas Jefferson High School, so we are local as it gets. We have been doing affordable housing projects, and we've done a number of them with TRG and with J&G and with Glenn throughout Richmond and Central Virginia. Very successful projects. It's been really our staple of our construction division for the past 15 years. We've completed over $600 million in Virginia housing projects, so we're very versed in all the nuances of what it takes to complete a Virginia housing project and the requirements on the construction end. So with all that being said, I think that demonstrates that we are local to the financing. We're very connected with our partners and have completed a number of very successful projects with them, so we're capable. Thank you.
Thank you, Travis. Excuse me. So, as I mentioned, in the interest of time, we're going to go through a couple of sample projects that I felt would give just some context, very similar to what we're proposing for the 212 North 18th Street development. The first project, and I'll go through this quickly. I don't know if we're sharing the presentation, if folks want to spend more time with it. We do have some handouts if someone would like one after the presentation. But in the interest of time, I'll be going through it pretty quickly here. So our case studies. The first case study is Aspire, which was formerly home of the Willis Building. That was city-owned, became a city-owned lot, and we worked with the city on demolishing the site in a collaborative fashion, demolishing the site, design and programming. It was also in partnership with a local faith-based institution, First Baptist Church, the oldest church in Norfolk. It's a mixed income development, working families, single parents, young professionals, and even older and active and independent seniors, which is a really cool dynamic. This past holiday, we have an art program there, and they were doing sort of crafts and different things with the seniors. And it's not a senior community, but bringing that intergenerational mix and that different mix of different economic backgrounds has been a very successful model for us. The project is 100% occupied with a substantial wait list. No one wants to leave. The art program has become such a major feature for the project and the city. It's now listed on the city's list of featured sites in the city of Norfolk, which is pretty awesome. The programming and capital stack are both very similar to what we're proposing today, demonstrating familiarity with DHCD, Virginia Housing, bringing strategic partnerships together with the helps of the Urban League, 4Kids, and other faith-based institutions. This is just a snapshot of the capital stack. Again, very similar to what we're proposing for 212 North 18th Street. So this would not be something that's out of the norm for us. We've been successful in the last 3 to 4 calendar years, successfully receiving awards from DHCD to support our affordable housing goals and mission. The unit mix breakdown, a total of 85 units, a mix of 1s, 2s, and 3s. And here's the real interesting aspect, and I firmly believe in this model. The mix of incomes. So we have 30% AMI, we have 60% AMI units, we have 80% AMI units, and it really works and functions as just a working class development. And so it's really cool to see how when you mix and you bring all of those different incomes together, how it all works out. It inspires, it holds people accountable. It does a lot of great things. And it turns out to be a huge benefit at the end of the day, most importantly for the community. Just a snapshot of some of the financing sources that I've mentioned already. We're one of the largest purchasers of the low-income housing tax credit. Just to give you some context, there's probably about 10 billion in credits that are issued across the country. We purchase as an organization or at TRG, we purchase about $1.4 billion a year in those tax credits. So we're very actively involved in this space, not just from a development standpoint, but also from an investment standpoint. Some of our development partners, you'll see J&G, you'll see that a lot. We work with J&G exclusively on everything that we do. And then you see our art studio director, and you'll be hearing from Sir James Thornhill later in the presentation. That's another component that we want to bring to and make a part of this development. Again, you'll hear this a lot today. It's more than just the sticks and the bricks. Bringing art to celebrate culture and history, to remind folks, to storytell. That is the quintessential way to show someone that you really care about that development. And what happens in turn is that same care is reciprocated. We don't have, I can remember when we were planning for this project, folks were worried, well, what if folks steal the art? The art hasn't been touched. Hasn't been touched. And so when you show and you bring that high level quality and care to a development, it is reciprocated by the folks in the community that lives there. The second project that I want to use as a case study, and just for context purposes, demonstrating our experience and ability to work with not only local municipalities, but other governmental institutions, in this case, the Public Housing Authority in Portsmouth. This was previously home to Lincoln Park, which is a 270 plus unit, or formerly was a 270 plus unit public housing development site. And so the last part of the redevelopment on this site was adding 105 units of senior housing, new construction, high quality features such as soft closed doors, club room, fitness area, walking trails, bike storage, and many, many other amenities. And this project really demonstrates, in my opinion, that we don't have to cap or put a dollar amount on high quality, just because of the rent amount. And I think that's often a misconception is, okay, well, the rent's only X amount, well, you can only expect this standard. Well, that's not the case. And we've figured that out. And we continue to bring that high quality expertise, the high quality finish to all of the developments that we touch and work on. This is the club room, double height ceilings. The naming was very significant in this particular case because we worked with the community. We worked with the former public housing residents who we were able to find on a Facebook sort of group. They're still talking, and then we made them a part of this development and naming of some of the prominent spaces like this club room. Celebrating history. At the grand opening, we brought in actors to reenact prominent figures that were from Portsmouth, in and around the Portsmouth area. Just a few more photos here, adding a wellness center, bike storage. And I will tell you what is most fulfilling about this project is that people feel safe. From controlled and secured access, even though this is only 105 units, there's over 140 cameras. There's cameras on every single floor, every single angle, and we've had family members when they come to drop off their grandmothers. Thank you for, my grandmother is safe. I feel like she is safe. And you can YouTube that. That was actually a remark that was captured on YouTube at our grand opening event. Again, celebrating art, making that a part of art and culture and history, a part of everything that we do. Next is Mosby South redevelopment. So we were selected as the development partner for Richmond Redevelopment Housing Authority to redevelop Mosby South, which is an existing 106 unit public housing site where we intend to replace that with over 450 units of mixed income housing across 3 phases, and working collaboratively with various offices, including President Newbill's office, to make sure we get this right. This is such a prominent and significant development for the city, We're honored to be a part of it. We just received a CUP zoning approval, so very excited to be moving this forward and demonstrating that we're here for the next 5 to 7 years at least. We'll be focused on Mosby South and as well as other things, hopefully. A few more. The last project that I'll talk about is 125th Street, which is a very prominent development that we completed over the course of 7 to 8 years. Took a very long time. Oftentimes, it takes time, and that's fine. But it's a market rate and affordable development, 404 units, a stone's throw away from the historic Harlem Theater. Mixed use, retail, residential, mix of incomes from 37% to 145% AMI. I have a chart that'll demonstrate that here in the next slide. 365,000 square feet of residential, 10,000 square feet of public open space, 5,300 square feet of cultural and community facility space, 62,000 square feet of retail. This is sort of the AMI breakdown, just seeing a diverse mix of incomes. Very successful and prominent development. So now, let's talk about our proposal for 212 North 18th Street. So what we're proposing is a 5-story structure, podium building, ground floor to be concrete and 4 stories of wood framing above. Project includes 82 total units. The focus on the building is to fit within the urban context, fit within the Richmond 300 plan, and making sure the building faces Broad Street and there's that building presence on 18th Street as well. And you'll see that in some of our site analysis here, and you see the nodes of travel and so on and so forth. We currently have about 75 parking spaces programmed. We understand that there's parking across the street as well, a big parking lot. So there is flexibility to reduce that, adjust that, maybe add some green space. We did not see a need for a heavy use of commercial, just given everything that's around the area and the access to a lot of commercial retail and various amenities. But we are planning to add a daycare space, an art gallery in partnership with Sir James Thornhill, all public and community benefits that will help residents continue to thrive and enjoy living there. So the 18th Street, let me go back to the 18th Street rendering here. So the building is fronting the primary streets to screen the parking. We left some space at the corner for a plaza, which could include some sculptures and artwork on display. We also have a terrace area, as you see at the top there, for personal enjoyment of residents want to go out and have a cup of coffee or just enjoy the views of this beautiful city. So from a building floor plan perspective, the unit mix is comprised of 42 one-bedroom, one-bath units, approximately 620 square feet, 32 two-bed, two-bath at 850 square feet, and then 8 three-bedroom, two-bath, approximately 1,161 square feet total. Some of the amenities in the units include kitchens with peninsula seating, individual heating, cooling, and water heating, all electric, built-in dehumidification in each unit. Soft closed doors, I mentioned that. That's become one of my favorites now, and I don't think we can go back to just regular cabinets after the experience with soft close. Some of the building amenities include a club room, lounge with kitchen, fitness room, art room, gallery, library and computer room. As I mentioned, the fourth floor terrace and lounge, a placeholder, as I mentioned, for sculpture and artwork so that we can incorporate that as well. On-site management, 2 elevators, interior bike storage, trash chutes, select parking spaces to be covered. And then from a sustainability standpoint, we'll be seeking NGBS Green certification for the project. So with that, I'm going to just invite Glenn Hudson to come back up and just talk about a few important aspects that we want to emphasize. He mentioned in his introduction, but as it relates to zoning, our local relationships, security, and compliance with the Richmond 300 plan.
Andre, thanks again, Andre. And I did talk a little bit about the Richmond 300 plan and how when we were looking at this project from the very beginning, very involved with the city staff, kept an eye on the zoning refresh as well, and attended a number of zoning refresh meetings, along with meetings on the Richmond 300 plan as well. We also have been talking and working with the staff of Richmond as well, figuring out what types of resources that may be available to actually help in the funding of this project as well. And again, I'd just like to say, based on everything that Andre went over and what I've talked about and what J&G has talked about, is that the most important piece here is that each of our team members, from Breeden to Timmons to TRG to J&G to Hudson Real Estate Advisory Group to Sir James Thornhill, we've been working in the city on projects, each of us, not collectively, but each of us, for 8 to 35 years. And that says a lot. And I just want to reemphasize that we are the local development group that understands what the needs of residents here and community stakeholders here are in Richmond. And we will continue to work with our local council folks like Councilwoman Newbill, Councilwoman Robertson, and the rest of City Council, and the wonderful mayor that we have in Richmond as well, and the staff at the city as well. So thank you, Andre.
Yes. I have you coming up on the notice line too.
I just wanted to add that as I will be responsible for helping to develop the community engagement portion of this project, that we very much intend to connect with all of the associations, you know, the resident business, which there are many, and we want to make sure that we're going to respect the rich cultural history and the theme that already exists in the neighborhood. So I just wanted to add that we are not going to neglect what has happened, what has transpired, all the things that have occurred within the Shockoe area, and that our community engagement will reflect that, which will then have an emphasis on the final development.
Thank you. And not to go off script here, but you know, sometimes folks just need a shot, right? And that's what this platform provides, folks a shot. It's not that we're asking you to compromise on quality or integrity, or in fact, we want to raise the bar even higher. So extremely appreciative for my long-term partners, and thank you especially, Mrs. Washington. So project overview, just to kind of reiterate some of the things I went through, maybe a few factoids here I didn't cover. So 82 total units, single building. It's a total gross square footage. Looks like we had something off here, 95,670 square feet. Average square foot per unit is about 787 square feet. Our general contractor we introduced, Breeden, and our architect, Hooker DeJong, has worked with us on every single development that we've done in Virginia. They're approved by Virginia Housing, and they're the lead architect on Mosby South as well. But this, again, demonstrates that it supports the city's housing priorities. It's a catalytic investment in the urban core, and it creates lasting community assets. This is the unit mix and affordability that we're proposing, a mix and a range between 30% AMI and 80% AMI. These deals aren't easy in terms of figuring out the financing, but we've done a really good job of working and being successful, as I mentioned earlier, with DHCD and as well as other funders throughout the Commonwealth. So our local funding request. So to support the delivery of the project and to maximize long-term affordability, the development team respectfully requests the city's consideration on the following: participation in the City of Richmond's Affordable Housing Performance Grant Program, infrastructure funding assistance, and soft funding assistance in the form of Housing Trust Fund dollars, home funds, or a combination thereof. The economic benefit to the City of Richmond. We're proposing a purchase price of $750,000. There could be some flexibility there based on just how the financing settles in terms of increasing that. The estimated tax benefits collected from years 16 to 30. This site, as we all know, is now sitting dormant. So in activating that, we project that there will be about $3.4 million in tax benefits collected from years 16 to 30. So total benefits to the City of Richmond, $4.1 million, but most importantly, 31 full-time jobs created, 63 part-time jobs created, and 94 total jobs created. I'll go through this in the interest of time quickly. We expect that assuming developer selection by the end of July, that we could commence with construction by September of next year. That accounts for design process. We do not have to get the site rezoned, so that's very helpful. But we do want to be very intentional and collaborative throughout the design process, engaging President Newbill and other stakeholders to make sure we get it right. In terms of local participation, we've talked about this a lot. It is something that's very important to us and what we've tried to emphasize. And we've mentioned a lot of these partners, but we have not mentioned Sir James Thornhill. And I was telling Mr. Thornhill earlier today, when I first started working in Richmond, August, I almost remember the exact date, August of 2019, Glenn and I were sitting in the Hilton putting a proposal together for Richmond Redevelopment and Housing Authority. We worked all night on it. And in that proposal, we have Mr. Thornhill. And so, he was telling me about the mural when you go across the MLK Bridge. I said, Mr. Thornhill, I look at that almost every day because it was a major part of our proposal, something that we use in different presentations when we're trying to tell our story. And if we have just another minute or two, I'd like Mr. Thornhill just to come up and share a few words, if you could.
Good morning. I'm Sir James L. Thornhill, artist and art director of the Diamond District Project. We just got finished the Richmond Squirrel Stadium, which is now Carmax Park Stadium. I'm responsible for a statue there of, one statue there, 4 murals there. But then for the Richmond 34, we just got finished completing that statue also. I have 35 murals throughout the city, and I love working with community projects like this because it's very important that we have an art component in everything that we do. And once we bring students in and the elders in and see how they react to what we do, when we're painting murals and seeing the community come by and enjoy the murals and how excited they are, it makes us know that our work is really, really making a big change in our city. Right now I'm working on a mural down on 2nd Street. It's coming out really good, and we're getting ready to start within the Jacksonville community doing some more murals. But so far, being a part of this project is really doing a whole lot for me. And knowing that we're putting our heart into what we're doing, and that we're bringing the community within our project also. Thank you.
Thank you. I could talk to Mr. Thornhill all day long, actually. You know, he was telling me about programming and services and, you know, working with the kids a long time ago. And I said, you know, those kids will never forget that experience. And you know, he said, I think he said, you know, when you show that you care, right, and they remember those things. So we hope to continue to duplicate that and bring that spirit throughout, you know, everything that we do. So workforce development, community engagement, we talked a little bit about this. We have the person on the team for that. I know we're running out of time here, so I won't invite you up again, Mrs. Washington, not that I don't want to. But we have the person on the team for that. And she's done that for not just in Richmond, but in every community that we worked in. I've been able to call her on a moment's notice and say, hey, we got to do a back to school event. Sorry, it's a week notice. and she was there, and she delivered. So that's what we get as a partner on this development, and that's what you'll get. So why the TRG team? One is our financial strength and acumen. We've demonstrated that we can do this. We have similar projects like this. So again, this is not something that we hope to do or something that we're going to test out. This is something that we've done, we've implemented, we're managing it currently, and we're here. Housing expertise, over 40 years of learning lessons, right? That's a lot of people may not often look at it that way, but for being in business for 40 years, that's really what it represents, 40 years of learning lessons that we're able to bring to the table and avoid some of those pitfalls that we may have experienced 20 years ago. Community-centered approach, inclusive, building local assets, very important to us. Execution certainty, as I mentioned, we've produced this model before. It's not anything new. And then locality, folks that really love and care about the city of Richmond. That's where we're at today. That's who we want to be in partnership with today. Folks that truly care about this community, want to see it do better, want to see it be the best. And that's what this team represents. So thank you with that. I'll take any questions that you might have. I think is that the order of business? Okay. That's it. Well, you're probably questioning the picture, and I'm not going to let that, because that was my heyday. I'm not going to let that picture go. But please, any questions?
Are there any questions for the Richmond group? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
At this time, we're going to ask that the Shako Shines group come forth and do your presentation for us. Just to the right. It's the right.
My name is David White. I'm representing Shako Shines, and Shako Shines is a term that we have used in our firm to talk about what we propose for Shako Bottom in general. And I'll get into it in more detail, but with some subsequent slides. But what we're proposing is a mixed income community that is built to last. So Shako Shines our firm name is Historic Housing, and we are right across the street, which is 2 blocks from the project site. We are, as the last group, we're vertically integrated. We have a development group, which is a historic housing. We have a construction company, SWA Construction, architecture company, it's SWA Architects, and then we manage our assets through Main Street Realty. So we bring in partners, but we control the whole process from start to finish. So our experience is 53 mixed-use communities, 3.6 million square feet total. 440 of that is 440,000 of that is commercial. But like the previous group, we're not inclined to do any commercial in this building, and I'll get into a little bit about why that is the case. And our total development is $670 million. We've been in the Richmond community for 50 years doing development, and we have been in the Shockoe Bottom area for 46 years. Again, right across the street there. We've experienced everything that Richmond has experienced, and we have swam out of our offices when Gaston came to visit. We know a lot about what's involved in surviving around here. And so I want to emphasize, and this may be a theme that you hear today, you may hear a lot about local. We're local, and we build to hold. We don't sell anything. We have sold a few properties, but by and large, we maintain ownership of the properties over the long haul. That's our business model. And we don't use other people's money. This is not where we, as you'll see later on in the presentation, we don't have a capital stack. We borrow money, and we put our own money into it. And we don't charge fees up front. So you're going to find that our cost of construction is dramatically less than, I think, the other participants in this morning. And that's because, we don't have a developer fee, we don't have this, that, and the other fee. I mean, we actually put money into the project rather than take money out of the project. What that does for the city and the community is our investment is the success of the community. So this is a view of the neighborhood. The little red dot here is historic housing. We have 30 units of low-income housing tax credit units up above it. And in the light sort of beige color, there are a bunch of properties around the neighborhood that we've done. It's a total of 1,100, a little bit over 1,100 units in the immediate vicinity, and the orange box shows what we're proposing for we call it the Seaboard Building, and I will refer to it as the sand lot because we've always known it as the sand lot. The city stores sand there so that they can dump it on the city streets when it snows. But we have a number of properties in the area. We currently, and this is not a scientific analysis, but something on the order of 40% of the residents in these units right here are at or below 80% of area median income. Now, that's not because of any specific guarantee that we made as part of our financing, but that is the way we operate them. We have a wide range of units and unit types, and we've been very successful in having mixed income properties over the years. So, I keep forgetting I don't have to look there, I've got it right here. Context matters. This neighborhood is not just any neighborhood, and you can't take just any project and put it in this neighborhood. We have a mismatch of commercial and residential. And the city did a study a number of years ago for the Shockoe Small Area Plan. And they determined that you need something in the neighborhood of 8 million square feet of additional residential space to service the existing commercial space. So the proposal that we've got here doesn't have any commercial in it. We would certainly hope that that's the direction that the city goes. What this neighborhood needs is more residential. We need density, and we need people walking around on the street. We don't need more commercial to compete with what's already here, because the existing commercial folks in the area are having a tough time making a go of it. As I mentioned, periodically it floods down through the Shockoe Bottom area, and some improvements have been made by the city, and thank you very much for all that effort. So it's much less rare. I think it maybe is protected to something like the 85-year flood event, but that has created real problems for the area over a period of time. It's resulted in disinvestment. There's a whole stretch directly adjacent to this property where investment hadn't occurred for 50, 60, 70 years. And over the various floods, people have torn buildings down. So you have less and less property that is used, and you have more and more just open parking lots. It creates a difficult environment to have a successful community. This area is the oldest area in the city, and it's got an incredible history. I went last night to the History Museum, and they are showing a video across the facade of it, and it's the history of the United States. Well, a whole lot of that history occurred right here in Shockoe Bottom. That is something that I think that we need to really amplify and take advantage of and recognize, because it's a complex history. The disinvestment has created an environment where it's tough to get residents to move into the area. We have a building, you can't see it now, but on the previous slide it shows we have the building called the Bakery, which is directly across the street from the Sandlot. That building has been, we've had problems with security in the area. There have been 2 shootings while we've been in lease up on that building, and we need people on the ground, people moving around, so that it doesn't feel like a disinvested area. And this project compliments again to the city. I'm really pleased that something is being done about it. So we're trying to create a economically viable, welcoming environment and a mixed-use neighborhood. And one of the things that is important is that there is the Shockoe Institute and the Shockoe Project are immediately adjacent. And I'm going to go back, and maybe I can't. There we go. Yeah. All right. So the Shockoe Project is immediately to the west. It's colored in. And the Shockoe Institute is immediately in the rear portion of the ground floor of the Main Street station. And those are 2 really important developments. They have to raise money, and one of the ways they can raise money is if they've got a viable community around them and people can feel safe. And the last point that I wanted to make was, that I made a little bit before, this is our home, and we're committed to making this area a success. Now I want to divert a little bit and talk about what could be down here. This is our vision, and that's what Shockoe Shines is all about. And we've been working on a program with various people in the groups in the area, Venture Richmonds, the Shockoe Institute, Shockoe Project, and we've had discussions with the city on a number of occasions. What we would like is to illuminate, activate, and elevate. And what we mean by that is, again, I referenced the video that was shown on the exterior of the History Museum. You can go tonight, because it's going to be again tonight, the last 2 nights and then again tonight. And but we're trying to do something that is more than that, where we are projecting onto existing buildings, as you see in the lower left-hand corner, where you can sort of change the visuals of that building. We have some ideas for some lighting fixtures, large lighting fixtures that could go in the farmer's market, music festivals, seasonal activities, and the arts. In the bakery, we have located an art gallery with Ed Trask, and Matt Lively, and some of your friends. And that is going to be a teaching and an active gallery. If you look in the upper left-hand corner, there is the picture of a 6-story concrete wall that we have on the bakery, and that's our parking deck right there. You can't illustrate it in this slide, but it's got, we're projecting onto it a video in the evenings that makes that whole facade there come alive. It moves. The birds are flying through the air. There's lightning and so forth. So that is something we've actually had, I don't know, 3 or 4 people have, in one night, stopped. They were driving by on the interstate, because you can see that wall from the interstate if you're going north, stopped, came around to find out what it was. So we're not there all the time, so I don't know how often that occurs, but that is something that we've really proud of. The bakery, you'll see a couple of slides or pictures from the bakery. We took the original sign for Wyman's Bakery and put it on the outside of the building. An earlier sign that we found during construction, you see Wyman's Bakery there right in the middle, and we put that in the lobby, so really kind of a cool looking sign. We have an office space that is coming in that's going to be rental for small offices, so startup companies will have a place where they can go and get affordable office space in the area. So the message here is that we're trying to create a community-wide, neighborhood-wide effort to make the bottom what it can be. The bottom is an exciting neighborhood, potentially, and it really ought to be. And that's what we've been striving to make happen for 46 years. What our proposal is a building that is, we're striving for density. And notice the previous proposal had some surface parking. We're not going with any surface parking. We're doing a podium, and the podium is actually three levels of parking, and then 5 levels of apartments. Now, we also don't use wood construction. We use steel and concrete. So the building will be built, it'll be a 100-year building, not a 30-year building. And wood shrinks. So it's just one of the realities of life. And there are things that you can do to alleviate that somewhat, but you get creaks and you get cracks. And so we build with concrete and steel. And we find that, we believe that we get a really good product out of that. We're proposing 210 units, and we'll have 240, I think it is, parking spaces underneath. So we'll have more than enough for this particular building. And our hope would be that the available parking in adjacent lots disappears, that adjacent lots become filled with other buildings. As I said, that we don't propose any commercial in the building other than commercial that's related to our building. We want to support the people that are there now. It's an inclusive housing proposal. 42 units would be available for folks that are at or below 80% of the AMI. So we're not deep affordability, but we are affordability. And this is the kind of mix that we believe that is right for the Shockoe Bottom today. It is privately funded, so we don't have to go through bond allocating procedures and awards and raising money from here and there. If we get the go-ahead, we'll just do the project. We're known locally, we're known by the city, and they know we can deliver and deliver. So there are 210 units, 181 one bedrooms, 29 two bedrooms. We have a really nice array of amenities. Includes a community room, fitness center, pool, outdoor plaza, and rooftop open space, dog park, and electric charging stations, and bicycle storage. So these are the kinds of things that we have found over time that tenants really want and are part of the urban experience. Parking efficiency, but I see now that it's 234 parking spaces, not 240. So we do have sufficient parking for this building and a few extra. So our design strategy is build it to last. So it's steel and concrete and a lot of brick on the exterior. In terms of financing, again, it's privately funded. We have risk management. We have, by having in-house construction, we are able to handle the surprises, and surprises occur, and you need to be able to roll your sleeves up and take care of it expeditiously, maybe within the next hour when you encounter a problem. So we have all of that in-house, and everybody has their office 2 blocks away from the project. And we've got a good financial model in terms of being stable. We're assuming a 1.25 debt service coverage, and that's because of the type of financing we use. It's through Fannie Mae. That's what would be required by them, but it also gives you a substantial protection against the downside. Sometimes deeper affordability projects have less downside protection, and I think other municipalities have had some experience or had some issues with that, being able to maintain their affordable properties. So we have strong local banking connections, and we're prepared to get this project going. So the benefits, expanding the tax basis, we're not requesting any tax abatement, and so we estimate that something north of $400,000 a year would be paid in taxes day one. So you can do your own math. In 10 years, that's $4 million. So there will be substantial economic benefit to the city from the very beginning. We'll be supporting local businesses, providing mixed income. And I want to also point out that our affordable units are going to be identical to our market rate units. We're not providing one class of unit or one view. They're spread throughout, and I think that creates a really healthy lifestyle. We're ready to proceed. We have approvals that are necessary. We've had discussions with our banks, and so we know that we can do this project. I do want to point out that all of these projects are subject to the zoning refresh or some other rezoning, because it's currently zoned M1, and you can't build residential on M1. So we'll all be in that same situation. We've got to get the zoning refresh done. This is a strategic opportunity. Shaka Shines presents a housing and economic growth opportunity and neighborhood revitalization for Shaka Bottom. Our project is badly needed. Now I'm going to go through just some slides of, this is, many of these are the bakery. They're not all from the bakery. But these are just to give you an idea of what our interiors look like. In the bakery, you'll see that the ceiling is actually exposed concrete. It's literally the underside of the floor above. Bedroom and living room. And this is what it would look like on the Grace Street side. I mentioned that it would be 5 over 3. The ground level parking is wrapped with units. And we did that so that you don't see the parking. It is there, but instead of putting commercial on the ground floor, we're proposing townhouse units along there. And the housing, the residential portion of it, is done in a U shape, which you can sort of see from this slide. And inside that is a courtyard that will have a pool, a fire pit, and lots of tables. And so it's a gathering space. We had a slide of that, but it somehow ended up being out of focus, and we're not quite sure how that occurred. But anyway, it'll be a really fun area that opens into a community space directly to the rear. So the project status, the design is, schematic design is complete. The initial contractor pricing has been completed. The construction loan is ready, and all equity is committed. Importantly, we're not dependent upon competitive or bond financing processes. We don't have to get approvals for that. And we don't have to get approvals from limited partners or worry about equity pricing. We've already bit the bullet, and we know what our return's going to be. And we don't have any further approvals required, other than the city. I think zoning and building permit are the two big things that we would have to get over. City benefits, existing mixed-use neighborhood is supported. The Shockoe Institute supported the Shockoe project. And again, as I mentioned, it's important that this area that is immediately around those two facilities be strong and vibrant. They're going to be going out and raising money, and it's going to be very important that be the case. And you can check with them. They kind of agree on that. 210 mixed income housing units preserves all city subsidies for additional projects. And that's an important distinction. You get this project and you get it free. And in fact, it's more than free. You get tax revenue every year, first year, forever. The final point, we care. We're here for the long term. And that's it. Questions? Okay, thank you.
I'm a woman of my word. 5 minutes is up. If we could please take our seats. And while you're taking your seat, we're going to invite to the podium Jair Lynch, Real Estate Partners, for their presentation. So please join me in welcoming them to the podium.
Thank you. Okay. All right. So it's still morning. Good morning. Thank you for being here. We are excited to present our proposal for the city-owned 212 North 18th site. We want to thank the city for this opportunity and the community members for coming here to hear what we have to say. Our goal here is to tell you who we are, what our proposal is, and hear what matters to the community. We really believe that this site can create affordable housing. We believe that it can create jobs. We believe that it can activate the neighborhood, support local businesses, and really create lasting value for the community. My name is Greg Ward, and I'm with Jair Lynch Real Estate Partners. We have 4 more team members here from Jair Lynch, Baskerville, and LF Jennings. We're all going to introduce ourselves as we present. So more on our team. We have intentionally assembled a team with deep Richmond roots and national affordable housing experience. Jair Lynch is one of the top 10 Virginia affordable housing developers. We have 10,000 units in our portfolio. 6,000 of those are affordable. And in addition to our design and construction team, we partnered with M Companies, Michael Hopkins, to help us deliver on our commitment to have minority business and workforce development as part of this project. Our civil engineer, our architect, and our contractor just recently last year delivered the Noon Ingram project. And we're really looking forward to keeping that momentum going. So building with Richmond, for Richmond, we really believe it's in our DNA that development happens with a neighborhood and not to a neighborhood. We really believe that the city-owned site should reflect the priorities of the community. To us, a successful project at the end of this is to create something the community is proud of for years. These pictures that you see up here are from our actual team members out in the community. So what's our vision? Our vision really works on 3 interconnected priorities: affordable homes, neighborhood activation, and creating economic opportunity. So the first, we're creating affordable homes in one of Richmond's most connected and opportunity-rich neighborhoods. We are going to create a street activation that is welcoming and really it really adds to the vibrancy and the energy of Shockoe Bottom. And we're going to create economic opportunity through jobs, through contracting opportunities, and through lasting investment in the area. So why are we here? We believe that public land should create public value, and we think that we're doing that by transforming this parking lot into affordable homes, jobs, and neighborhood activation. Our proposal here aligns with the mayor's main 2 goals for housing. First, we're directly increasing the affordable housing supply, and we're doing so in an area that is a high opportunity area. We're creating ground floor activity that really is going to contribute to the neighborhood. I'm going to pass it over to Angelo to talk more about the site.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Angelo Filos, architect and principal of the Affordable Housing Studio at Baskerville. As you can see, the opportunities on the existing site, it's just a paved parking lot. There's hardly any shade. There's no place to pause. Give me a second here so I don't miss my notes. The site is located, as has been mentioned earlier, in a critical gateway to the city of Richmond. And really, when I started to, I should say we, let me make sure I do this right, hold on. Do this. Oop. As you can see, really within a mile, it's an amazing city location for those of us who live here. Truly is a premier part of the city. Where you can get in 1 mile is amazing. The GRTC, regular service, the Pulse, of course, Main Street Station. Thank you for mentioning our project at the Shockoe Institute and the Shockoe Project site. 17th Street Market is a project we did a few years ago, and of course, VCU Health Canal Walk, and cafes and restaurants and retail are nearby. So really, this is the one that struck me when you look at these diverse neighborhoods and you see the Shockoe Project, proximity to Capitol Square, Shockoe Slip, of course, like we mentioned, the Low Line and the Capitol Trail, Church Hill is close by, and the canal and the Canal Walk, and of course, the James River. A little bit more, you see the arteries, of course, Broad, Grace, Franklin, Canal, Cary, and our north-south arteries of 17th and 18th Street. In this diagram, indicating the primary roadways and the secondary roadways, you see the railway beyond. And again, reiterating the magic, really, of Shockoe Bottom. It's not something we should be afraid of. There's a tremendous opportunity to provide 100% affordable housing at this site, activate the neighborhood, and make this the special place that it is to live and work and play. Thank you.
All right, so our proposal provides 135 affordable homes. They have 1, 2, and 3 bedrooms, serving families from $34,000 to $91,000 for a family of 4. Our project includes flexible ground floor space that could end up being units, it could end up being community space, anything that we can hear from the community to kind of help activate. We have a pocket plaza that would be a great place for community art. And we really believe that Richmond's growth should be inclusive, and we think that this process is really the first step in making sure that we're going in the right direction. Every home in this building is going to be affordable. We'll have 26 homes at 30% AMI, 68 homes at 60% AMI, and 41 homes at 80% AMI. And the housing mix that we have supports individuals, families, and working households. I think locating these homes near transit and employment opportunities really expands opportunity, but also ensures that we can maintain the affordability over time. And I'm going to pass it over to Sheena.
Thank you very much. I am going to talk to you guys a little bit about how our design process works. I'm Sheena Mayfield. I'm the studio director in our affordable housing studio at Baskerville, and we walked here with our team. Thank you for representing everybody who's here from our team, from our office not too far away. And I've spent the last 15 years working at Baskerville in the Richmond community, and the last 10 years in working in affordable housing. Our design approach for this place is really stitching a missing piece back into the Shockoe Bottom fabric. We've designed the ground floor to have flexible frontage so it can support community space, neighborhood serving uses, or walk-up units. We've envisioned the ground plane as having a high level of transparency and activity, distinct entry points to activate the interior use and create really an engaging energy on the street. We want to promote livability within the units with large windows to maximize daylight and really take advantage of the wonderful historic views of Richmond that we have on our site. Everything is really meant to reinforce walkability The building contributes to the public realm. It doesn't just sit in it. It belongs to Richmond, and it belongs to Shockoe Bottom. This slide shows the concept for our pocket park, but really it's a slide about how we work with the community. As you see, I'm wearing my t-shirt today, Ask, Listen, Create. It's really what Baskerville is all about. We want to reiterate that it's not just important to show you all a finished design here today. Our process is guided by these principles. We start by asking, what does the city and what does the community need on this site, including how does the ground floor work, how does the building meet the street? Through community meetings, city coordination, stakeholder engagement sessions, we listen. We will fully expect to change parts and pieces of this project and evolve the project through this process. And then we refine this design into something that reflects the input of the city while still being deliverable and high quality. And it isn't a project designed in a vacuum. We're committed to shaping it with you, and we're committed to shaping it together. What we have envisioned so far is a building that is really rooted in Shockoe Bottom. Shockoe Bottom has a strong identity. We want to lean into that rather than compete with it. There's brick, there's storefront, there's rhythms in the warehouse, chosen to echo that rhythm through vertical bays and repetition to reflect the surrounding historic fabric, chosen to utilize brick and durable materials to tie back to the neighborhood's DNA and longevity. We use depth and shadow in the facade, and we're not just offering flat surfaces, and transparency at the ground floor to create richness that visually connects to the pedestrian level. We've also proposed articulated massing to break down the building scale so that it feels comfortable on the street level. The aim is to provide a modern building, but one that feels home here in Shockoe Bottom. Big part of good urban design is handling the things that you don't see or really don't want to see well. Our building has parking that's internal and is screened so that it won't dominate the street. All service functions are really pushed away from primary pedestrian edges mid-block to allow for ease of entry. Entries are distinct. The building clearly presents itself to the residents and to the community, so it'll function smoothly. We've also included ample bike parking. Combined with the available transit will help reduce dependency on cars. The goal is the building that is working efficiently without compromising the pedestrian experience. Sustainability here is not just environmental, it's also economic and operational. We have stormwater retention integrated into the site. We intend to introduce street trees and vegetations to plaza and internal courtyard, along with selecting materials that are durable and providing shade to reduce heat island impacts of the new development. We want to reduce cost over time, and ultimately sustainability here means better performance and a building that serves the city well into the future. Together with these strategies, we hope to create a project that is grounded in place, responsive to the community, and designed to perform well over time. I'm going to pass it off to Gus to talk a little bit about our construction process.
Good morning. My name is Gus Lagon. I'm with the general contractor, LF Jennings. I am the Director of Pre-Construction for the Central Virginia office. Whoa. And I just hit something funny.
Go back.
Go back. There we go. Thank you. Yep, it sure does. Sorry about that. A successful project begins long before construction starts. It begins with a thoughtful and well-defined logistics plan that anticipates challenges, coordinates resources, and minimizes disruptions. Our team has successfully completed numerous complex projects throughout the city of Richmond, and we understand that success comes from careful planning, continuous communication, and disciplined execution. Through detailed logistics planning, scheduling, and coordination, we create a safe environment for our workers, nearby residences, local businesses, and visitors. Every decision is focused on reducing risk and ensuring the project progresses smoothly from start to finish. Our approach focuses on a single-phase delivery. Rather than completing the project in multiple stages, our goal is to deliver it all at once, fully complete and ready for use. This approach reduces the overall construction duration, limits disruptions to the community, and allows everyone to benefit from the finished project much sooner. By planning early and communicating consistently, we minimize impacts to neighboring businesses, residents, traffic, and pedestrians while maintaining a safe and organized job site. Safety is our highest priority. Every decision we make begins with protecting people working on the project, as well as everyone who lives, works, and travels through the area. LF Jennings maintains an experience modification rate of 0.76. This reflects our long-standing commitment to safety, accountability, and proactive risk management. A strong safety culture not only protects people, it also leads to better project performance, improved quality, and reliable schedules. We also staff our projects with experienced professionals who are present whenever work is being done. And as construction activity increases, we increase our field supervision to ensure work remains properly coordinated, deliveries are managed efficiently, and subcontractors are working safely together. An important part of the safety effort is effective traffic control. And because this project is located along Gray Street, 17th Streets, and 18th Streets, as well as Broad Street, maintaining safe pedestrian and vehicle access requires continuous coordination. Our logistics plan is designed to maintain those challenges while keeping the project moving efficiently. Now, when we talk about communication, we actually mean over-communication. We believe there is no such thing as communicating too much on a project. This level of communication is not only within our team, but also with city agencies, neighborhood businesses, residents, and community organizations. The level of transparency allows us to identify issues early, respond quickly, and keep everyone informed throughout construction. Throughout the project, we will work closely with housing community development, city agencies and departments, neighborhood and business associations, and organizations within the Shockoe community. Dominion Energy, DPU, Commission of Builders, and the right-of-way inspectors. The Jair Lynch real estate team is prepared to deliver meaningful jobs and lasting economic opportunities. Construction will create employment opportunities for local workers, skilled trades, suppliers, and subcontractors. We have a strong relationship with Richmond's construction community, and we believe hiring locally strengthens both the project and the local economy. Every opportunity we can provide for Richmond-based businesses help keep investments within the community. LF Jennings, together with our MB coordinator, M Companies, will lead a comprehensive minority business enterprise participation strategy, or for better words, an MBE outreach. And the success of this outreach begins during pre-construction and not during the contract award process. Our outreach efforts include leveraging our existing subcontractor bases while also expanding throughout the MBE outreach, pre-bid conferences, scope reviews, and scope leveling. This effort helps ensure qualified businesses are aware of upcoming opportunities and understand exactly how they can participate. We recognize that bonding requirements can create barriers for MBE firms, and to help overcome those obstacles, we utilize SubGuard and joint check agreements, creating more opportunities for qualified MBE firms to participate successfully. Our goal is meaningful participation, not simply meeting a percentage requirement. We want to build long-term relationships that continue beyond this project. In addition to construction jobs, Jair Lynch Real Estate Partners will create permanent employment opportunities through property management, maintenance, leasing, and ongoing building operations, providing lasting economic benefits well after construction is complete. Throughout the project, we will maintain accountability through regular community meetings, networking events, pre-bid conferences, scope reviews, and continuous MBE tracking of participation. We maintain an MBE tracking log during both procurement and construction, ensuring goals remain on track and on track while identifying additional opportunities for second-tier MBE vendors, suppliers, and small businesses. As Richmond continues to grow, it is important that residents, small businesses, and historically underserved communities share in that growth. Economic development should create opportunities that benefit the entire community and not just the project itself. Our commitment to economic inclusion is demonstrated through two primary initiatives: affordable housing and meaningful MBE participation. Jair Lynch Partners has invested more than $2 billion in affordable housing throughout its portfolio, which demonstrates a long-term commitment to developing communities that remain accessible and sustainable for families at every income level. Here in Richmond, LF Jennings has constructed more than $140 million in affordable housing over the past 3 years. That experience gives us valuable insight into delivering projects that positively impact neighborhoods while meeting the city's goals. Beyond affordable housing, the team before you has averaged approximately $79 million in awarded MB contracts each year. Those numbers reflect a genuine commitment to increasing opportunities for minority-owned businesses through contracting, professional services, supplier relationships, and procurement. Our vision is simple. We want Richmond's continued growth to create lasting opportunities for businesses, workers, families, and neighborhoods throughout the city. Success is measured not only by buildings we construct, but also by the partnerships we build, the opportunities we create, and the positive impact we leave behind. Now I'll pass this off to Malcolm.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Malcolm Haith. I'm Director of Development at Gyro Lynch Real Estate Partners. Thank you for having us today. I want to talk a little bit about how we will work together with the community in shaping this project together. This is a Richmond City on site, and we will work with the community. And how we will do that is determine what the neighborhood needs from the site, whether that's with the ground floor and determining with the community shop space or gathering space or green space. We will look to see any questions or concerns, whether that be through parking or traffic. We know that the community here is proud, and we will respect that, and we do that in various ways. Whenever we start a new project, we will set up a community website for questions and concerns, and have that space for an online survey where people can come in and answer questions about the neighborhood itself and the project, and how that project can, how we can help influence the retail within the project. What I want to talk about, though, is the community meetings and the town halls and the engagement events that we will host. I think most of our projects that we do, that's something that is important, but I think on my last project, we probably had about 50 community engagement projects, community engagement meetings. That's something that is important. We know the importance of engaging not just the community stakeholders, but also the different agencies and the different groups, and that's something that we will continue to do on this project also. This two images here are from one of our projects in Northern Virginia, Barcroft, where we set up an engagement event for the residents to come out, where they could learn more about what our initiatives and plans were, and we handed out flyers, had the neighborhood and family come out, and had kind of like a carnival and events, and we do that several times throughout the year. The next the next slide here is really about our approach, which is throughout the life cycle of the project, which is from pursuit all the way through operations. This is at the beginning, the neighborhood events through pre-development, where we will have job fairs, subcontractor events, outdoor events, temporary art installations. During construction, we will get feedback on branding or engaging local artists. In operation, we will curate opportunities for fellowship and create local vendors to be able to display and provide space for art and installations on the site. So what we're hoping to do is just to make the site approachable and activate in the interim and in the long term. In the temporary activation, what we don't want is to have the parking lot just be there unactivated. We don't want to fence around the site while we're in design. And this is one of our projects in DC, where we, during the site when it was under design, we did community events like yoga, or we had a pup park or jazz or games, and that allowed us to temporarily activate the site to get boots on the ground and people walking through and making sure that the site remained activated and safe. And that's one of the things that we would like to do here, to make sure that there are people coming through the site while it's before it's under construction. Public art is another thing that is important to us and is important to this community. We understand there's a robust mural program in the city. Public art is in all of our projects. It's a line item in every one of our budgets, no matter the project. This is an example from one of our projects at the DC Metro headquarters that Greg and I worked on. And one of our commitments is to work with the community and local artists, and by local, I mean hyper-local, to figure out what is best within the space. We will usually do a call to artist or a competition to figure out who is the best artist or who is the best space for, who is the best curator for that space. And we will do installations not just within the building or within the corridors, but also if there are sculptural pieces outside of the building, or if there are benches, like you can see under the tree there, we were able to create a bench that was also an art space. So that's something that's really important to us and something that we'd like to incorporate at this building as well. My last slide here is really just why Jair Lynch. We have a robust history in affordable and mixed-use housing delivery. We have a strong public-private partnership experience. We have a long-term owner-operator mindset. We take a project all the way through from start to finish, and we don't sell most of our projects. When we're building a project, we are looking at it as a long-term owner, and we are looking at it as though we're going to own it for the long term. So our decision-making is from a owner perspective as opposed to just a developer perspective. We are also coordinating the design, entitlements, financing, construction, and operations. So we're putting together a full team of local partners like we're doing here, and we are committed to staying accountable after the selection. So that would include including the local partners, local stakeholders, and the community as part of the entire process. So I'm going to pass it back to Greg to close out. Thank you.
Thanks, Malcolm. So this team here has a proven track record of execution. We've worked very hard to find a project that balances affordability, design quality, street activation, and long-term sustainability. And this is something that we know that we can deliver on. Our commitment is to provide 100% affordable housing here. We're going to activate the neighborhood. We're going to make this a great place. We are going to work with the M companies and LF Jennings and make sure that we maximize our minority business participation in economic workforce development. We're going to manage the impacts to the community in a responsible way. We're going to make sure that this doesn't negatively impact business owners and residents. We're going to maintain clear communication and long-term accountability. As Malcolm said, we don't build and sell. We're long-term investors in our community. And the next one of these meetings will be in the audience here, working with the next developer looking to be in the neighborhood here and help give our 2 cents on what we think the neighborhood can use to get better. And with that, we welcome any questions. All right. Thank you so much.
So we have one site, 212 North 18th Street. This morning you've heard 3 very distinct, different proposals of how they can activate 212 North 18th Street. And all 3 of the presentations had one goal, and the goal is to provide affordable housing. For that, we thank you. We see how you worked hard to put your teams together. We thank you for answering the RFP. We thank you for your interest in the city of Richmond, and we look forward to moving through the next steps in this process. And so we've had a lot of firsts in the city of Richmond under the leadership of Director Malone. This is the first time that we've done a presentation like this. Normally, you would hear a presentation from the developer when they're standing in front of council as the selected entity that will build on the lot. And so we're happy for how we're pushed. And believe me, we are pushed. We are pushed, we are stretched, but it's good. And we take pleasure in being pushed and being stretched to think of ways to be creative in how we provide affordable housing. And so we want to thank our staff, Cindy Cone, Wilkin Fernandez, who leads our development team. We want to thank Don and Janelle, Shara, and Yvette for their assistance here today. Because we work hard Monday through Friday, so for us to be on a Saturday, it's a big deal. But we're happy to be here doing this work. We want to thank our leadership. We want to thank President Newbill, Dr. Newbill, for being here today. And we want to thank Sharon Eber, who is our biggest cheerleader. She's our biggest cheerleader. She's our DCAO, and we want to thank her. Did I leave any of my colleagues out? I've included everyone? Okay. So it's nothing to it but to do it. It's my pleasure to introduce to you, for those of you who do not know, and to bring up our beloved director, Mr. Merrick Malone, for closing comments.
I don't have much to say, except that the evaluation panel have a hell of a decision to make. I thought we got three high quality presentations, and we'll get, it'll be the next step. And so we are right now trying to build as a city a pipeline of these kind of projects of city-owned surplus property. So this is the first one, but it's so important. And when we envisioned doing this for the first time, this was the kind of presentation, these were the kind of presentations that we wanted to see. We wanted this decision to be hard as hell, and it is. It's going to be. So certainly I appreciate it. I am so grateful for the fact that we have a mayor that supports this kind of thing. Mayor Abula has been very encouraging, and it makes it easy, as well as having a DCAO that encourages you and pushes you to do these kind of things. So again, the evaluation panel I'm glad, because this is what we wanted to be, competitive. And so we appreciate you all taking up your Saturdays to come and listen to three really outstanding teams. I want to commend the evaluation panel, that we had 8 that started and we got 3, and we think we got the 3 best. Now is the hard part. So thanks everyone for coming, and I appreciate the presenters, and let's get this done. Thank you.